It never fails. You have plans to do something on a day, and then something else comes up and you're doing something else for that day. Let me show you what I'm up to. You can't see where the tip of my finger's pointing right there. I'm hoping you can see that there's a crack. Right where that elbow is. See that crack? Well, we had a hard freeze, and the pipe, which is the hot water coming out of my Rinnai hot water heater, cracked. So that's cracked right there. I'm gonna have to replace that, which means we're gonna have to replace all of this here. So I've got to make a trip to the hardware store. I have spare parts, and I do have some of these for spare parts, but I don't have everything. I don't have this piece right here, and what I'm gonna do, instead of putting this elbow here back, I'm gonna put a valve so that I can open it up and drain it better. Normally I drained it here, and then I drained it on the inside, but that wasn't enough, obviously, because that cracked right there. So let's go to the hardware store, get the parts, come back and fix this. So that's what homesteading's all about, off-grid homesteading. And you might be like, well, Zach, that's just home ownership. Those things happen. Yes, but in my case, I am my own water company. I provide the hot water, I provide, and you know, I do that too. I provide the water pressure. There's no water that comes into this homestead. I do all of that. And so that means I'm always on call. And while for some people that might be hard to deal with, I enjoy that freedom. At times. Now, some of you guys might be wondering why my voice is a little cracky. That's because I'm just getting over, it seems like an allergy attack. A lot of our cedar trees here are putting out a lot of pollen, and I'm having a hard time dealing with that. It seems like this year. All of a sudden my head got stuffy and my nose was messed up. Didn't have a fever or anything else, just seemed like an issue with allergies. But I'm just getting over it. And I'm over it enough that I can tackle this problem, which I didn't think I was gonna have to tackle today. But that's what you deal with when you have a home and you live off grid, and you can't just call someone to fix everything every time you need something fixed. You gotta do it yourself. It's not that hard. It's not hard to fix out and switch out PVC and CPVC and PEX lines and all that stuff. It just takes a little bit of research, know-how, and the ability and willingness to get up and go. That should work. So I got some extra parts, because for next time, you know there's gonna be a next time at some point. So, and then I got some pipe right there. It's the entire length of my car. And now it's off to Harps. Because you gotta go to Harps when you're in town to pick up a kombucha, gingerade. That's it, it's the right stuff. Okay, so I'm back, and we're gonna take a look at where we're gonna cut this thing. There's a couple places where let me put this back on. A couple places I can cut it. I can cut it here and then spin this out, or cut it here and then spin this out. Either way, it gives me enough room, but I have to cut it in one of those two places. Otherwise, when I make my other cut here, because where I'm gonna try to connect to, I won't be able to spin this because this pipe here is in the way. So let's see what I can cut. Oh, I totally missed it on camera, but that's where I cut it at, and easy peasy. Oh, that was easy enough. I'll just throw in the new one. I'm trying to go ahead and cut here if I can. Huh? No, I think the goal here is going to be to do something like this and then put a valve there. So it'll be like, that'll screw up into there and then like that, if you can see that. That way I can just empty it next time and not have a little bit of water just sitting in that bottom part ever again. That's what I got so far. So I had the ball valve in the front so I can always drain the line whenever I want to. And then this thing here, this T will fit up right into there. And then the back side will run around behind and connect to that pipe right there. So see how that works? Let's see if we can connect that. All right, I'm just gonna test fit this real quick so I can measure everything. Okay, and start to plan. So I'm definitely gonna need a union, and then an elbow and an elbow. Actually, that's called a coupling. That's what I'm gonna use. So I'm just gonna dry fit everything in here as best as I can. I have some room to play, and then just gotta make it fit. I don't know if you can see that or not, but with just my quick eye measurement, that's gonna be almost perfect. Almost perfect. Okay, I've got all the main pieces put together. I just don't have anything, I don't have anything really glued yet. There's a few things that are glued, but not much. The last thing I'm gonna glue is this piece to the final piece because this has the most play and I can just scooch it in and seal it. So, and you can see this doesn't run parallel to the house, but that's okay. It kind of moves, so I can run it parallel. See that? So just put a little bit of move, just move it a little bit, and just, I have plenty of play there to be able to connect it. So that'll be the last piece that I hook up. Okay, I'm back, and I've gone ahead and glued everything in this piece here. So this piece is ready to go based on my measurements. All this needs to do is go through here, fit up into there, which I haven't glued yet, and then I can connect that back part. I'm gonna take one final measurement on that to make sure I've got it right. Okay. Yeah, just need to measure that. Three-quarter inch in and about 2.5 inches. About 2.5 inches. Measure twice, cut once. Measure twice, cut once. Let's go 2 3/4 inch. Yeah, 2 3/4 inch. After measuring it for like a third, fourth, fifth, and sixth time, I'm going with 2 1/4 inches. Okay, last piece, make sure it's dried. Okay. Good to go. So I know it looks like a little bit of a cluster. So I've got my coming in. I have my pre-filters inside this box. Goes into my pump. This pumps and pressurizes the entire house system through the hot water heater and a manifold inside, which I've done videos before in the past. If you want to see my entire inside water system and how it's structured, I have a video for you on that. You can look it up. I'll put it at the end screen. And then, but yeah, it looks like a little bit of a cluster. And in some municipalities, this would not be the code because you have lines crossing over other lines. So yeah, that might not be the code in some places. However, I don't care. We don't have code where we live, thank goodness. It works, it's safe. That's the most important thing. Does it work and is it safe? Yes. So I've got my discharge here if it needs to be, and then I've got my hot water line that goes into the house. I have my cold water line that goes into the house. It pressurizes both the water heater. This inflows the water, which gets heated and then outflows through the hot, and then also pressurizes the house through the manifold system on the inside. So there you go. It's back together. It's working. No cracks. Now I will, every time I need to shut this down for a cold freeze that's coming in, I just open this valve and drain out the bottom of the system. That makes sure there's no little amount of water that just sits down here at an elbow and then can crack. So on the bottom side, when this needs to be unplugged for the cold, I just go ahead and undo this, and then everything from the cold drains out from here, from the house, everything drains out through here. So, and then also have a drain on the manifold system inside. So that completely removes any possible sitting of water in this system during a cold freeze. So there you go. There's my repair of my water system that I needed to do today that I wasn't planning on doing today, but I did today. What did you do today? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. See you next time in the homestead. Bye.
One of the best perks about living off-grid is that I never pay an electric bill. I love being my own power company, but that means when things go wrong, I have to be the one on call. So I try and use reliable components for my power production. For the last couple of years, I have been promoting OUPES solar generators. I've been using them and abusing them, and as it turns out, they are pretty good products. They have power generators for all occasions, and they can be charged by permanent or portable solar panels, as well as AC power. They offer true lithium iron phosphate batteries, and this is important. Recently, a family in my area had a different brand that uses the less stable nickel manganese cobalt or NMC type batteries. The unit caught fire in the middle of the night. It was a scary situation and it caused damage to the home, but thankfully nobody was hurt. The generator, as you can see, was a total loss. This drives home the point on why it's so important to employ solar generators like the OUPES brand that uses the much more safe and stable technology of lithium iron phosphate, otherwise called LiFePO4. They offer small generators for travel or for powering an entire home and everything in between. These are great backups to have in a medical emergency or to power a freezer full of your favorite meat products, or as I have shown in past videos, for even backup AC and DC power sources for ham radio communications. If the grid goes down, you're going to be thankful you have one of these units. You can find the link in the description of this video or click on the banner ad found on the front page of our website, AnAmericanHomestead.com. Right here, that banner ad right there on AnAmericanHomestead.com. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of An American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. Oh wait.